Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would share with you guys some semi-interesting facts about me. I mean, I'm a pretty boring person, if I do say so myself, but I think I've dug up some facts from, from my past that are pretty interesting. So yeah, there's a lot, so let's just get started. Okay, so I want to do all of the basic facts just as one big fact, so let's do that one first. My name is Arifa. Duh. You knew that probably already. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Canada. My parents are Guyanese, so what up? What up? If you're Caribbean, let me know. The high school I went to was an arts high school, and I was in their literary arts program, so it's basically creative writing. I currently go to university. I'm studying communications and media studies. I am between 5'2" and 5'3". Yeah, and I haven't grown since 6th grade. So now I'm going to get into more of the interesting ones. So I do enjoy writing quite a bit, and my first story that I ever wrote, it was about this teddy he had a garden. All of his neighbors were also teddy bears and they had gardens, and none of their gardens were growing because they were all mean, but because he was a good teddy, and that's like the title drop because the story was called The Good Teddy, because he was a good teddy, his garden grew. This is probably not a shocker to any of you, but I've never been in a relationship. 19, never said I love you to anyone who wasn't family or, like a really good friend.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
When I was in 3rd grade, my teacher thought I had diabetes. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at people who have diabetes. I'm just laughing because this memory is so weird. It was my parent-teacher interviews, and my teacher told my parents that they should get me checked to see if I have diabetes, because I went to the bathroom at least 9 times in a school day, but it was mostly because I was paranoid that I would pee my pants, because I had a friend who used to pee her pants all the time, and I was so scared that I would be that kid. So I just to be sure, I wanted to go to the bathroom a lot, and I guess that's a symptom of diabetes. And I was also a chubby kid. I'll find a photo and I'll put it in here. My teacher probably put 2 and 2 together, and she was like, I think your daughter has diabetes, get her checked. Long story short, I don't have diabetes, but it's just a fun memory. And in line with me being a chubby kid, my parents were so concerned about what I was eating that when I was around 3rd grade as well, they made me make a list of all the things I ate in a day, and it would be 2 bananas, 3 oranges. I crack up thinking about it because I'm like there were things, and I remember doing this, there were things that I would eat that I wouldn't put on the list because I knew if my parents saw that, they'd get angry at me. Oh, another childhood thing. I was playing with my sister, and she's 2 years older than me, but she's always been smaller than me just in general. She's shorter, she's skinnier. We took the cushions off of our couch and we had piled them up. So I think we had 3 or 4, and we were jumping off of them, and so once we got to 4, it's pretty high for a kid who's only 2 feet tall, and so I jumped off of it, and then I told my sister, I was like, you need to do this. I basically peer pressured her to jump off, and so she jumped off and she broke her arm. Yeah, so my sister broke her arm because of me. Sorry. I'm allergic to cats, which is fine, I don't mind. I'm a dog person, but it does suck. I love horror movies because I like being scared, and then I think going with that is why I love amusement parks. I love roller coasters. I like being scared but knowing that I'm not actually in any danger. You guys might hate me for this, depending on who you are. I've never seen Star Wars or Star Trek. I don't really know what happens in them. I don't. My parents don't know about it either, and I feel like people get offended when I tell them that. They're like, oh, you've never seen Star Wars? And I'm like, no, I haven't. Sorry. Because I'm from Canada, we didn't have Chipotle, and then we finally got it, I think 2 years ago in my city, and the first time I had Chipotle, I teared up. My eyes were watering because it was so good. But one day I went to the all-you-can-eat sushi buffet with my friends, and if my friends are watching this, they probably remember this. So the way that you order is you order on a tablet and you click how many rolls do you want. So I think I said 5 of these shrimp rolls. I forget what they were called. And then it came, and I didn't know that one order of those was actually 4 rolls, not 1 roll. So when the people came with the rolls, they had like 24 crab, shrimp, sushi rolls. And my friends were like, you know you have to eat all of that by yourself, right? Because like we're not helping you. And so that's how I ate 24 sushi rolls by myself. I have an irrational fear of worms. If I see a worm on the road, like my heart starts beating really fast. A month ago, I was walking to work, and from the bus stop to my work, it's like a 10-ish minute walk, and it was one of those rainy days, and so all the worms are out on the sidewalk. I was looking straight ahead, and all I see for like 200 meters ahead of me is just like worm, 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 and I felt like I was gonna cry. And I know they're harmless, like they can't run, like I don't know why I'm scared of them, but they freak me out. Okay, this is like a real fear of mine. It's not, I don't think it's irrational, but maybe it is. I'm terrified that I'm going to die during childbirth. When I was younger, in one of my classes, we read an article about this queen who died in childbirth, and ever since then I was like, I feel like I'm gonna die in childbirth. Like, but if that happens, if I do die in childbirth, can you play this video at my funeral? Like, let him know. I called it. I knew it. Hand in hand with me loving like horror, scary things, I love Stephen King. I started reading him when I was in grade 6, and ever since then, every time he comes out with a book, I'm like, I want to buy that, I want to buy that, I want to buy that, I want to watch the movie for that, I want to be in the movie for that. Like, I love his work. I think he's so talented. He's been a huge inspiration for me. Even though the stuff that I write isn't very gory or scary, like, at all, his ethic and the way he's so motivated about what he does, it just like gives me hope inside. My math teacher, this was in grade 10 or 11. No, this was grade 11. So I think I was 16, 17. And before my teacher showed me my mark, he was like, Arifa, your math skills might not get you anywhere, but your humor might. I was like, first of all, sir, that is savage, but he's not lying. I'm no good at math. Even at my my old job, I used to work at a coffee shop. You know how when you open the drawer, like to give them back their change, and then as soon as you open it, they're like, oh wait, I have change. And then my mind is like, oh my goodness! I can't count. I cannot do that minor subtraction. I can't do it. Speaking of, although I hate math, I'm not good at chemistry or physics, but I love biology. It's so interesting to me. And I know like there is obviously some chemistry with that, there's some physics within biology, but I'm like, yeah, talk to me about protein, talk to me about muscles, like that stuff gets me going. I don't know, I love talking about it. Oh, okay, this one's probably relatable to a lot of you. I had this huge phase of just listening to emo music. 5 Seconds of Summer, which I guess they're not really emo, but like, do you know what I'm saying? So 5 Seconds of Summer, Green Day, Bring Me the Horizon, Black Sabbath, like all of that. 21 Pilots, Panic at the Disco. If you name it, I've probably cried to it before. I didn't know Black Sabbath was a band that existed until I was in my grade 11 class, and there was this guy who I thought was really, really cute, and so I stalked him on Facebook. You know how you can see like what the person likes, like bands and stuff? I saw Black Sabbath, and so I was like, oh, he's cute, let me listen to this band, so maybe if we ever talk I have something to talk about. And then it was just like downhill from there. Oh, I cannot whistle, like for the life of me, I can't. Like if I try, I'm like I don't understand how you make your mouth like that. Like English is my first language, but I grew up learning French, so I've been speaking French since I was, how old are you in kindergarten? Like 5? But I cannot confidently say that I'm fluent, but I'm close. So, like, I can manage, you know? And I also know a little bit of sign language. I took one class in it. I need to have lip balm or hand lotion, preferably both, on me at all times. I cannot stand having dry lips or dry hands. It distracts me. Like, I could be having the best day of my life. Like, it could be my wedding day. And if my hands are not moisturized, I'll be like, hey, let's pause. I need to moisturize. This is another writing story. So this is when I was in grade 4. My friend, he bought a bunch of notebooks from the dollar store. I think they were notebooks kind of like this, not like moleskins. They're not expensive at all. And he knew that I loved writing. He was like, do you want to buy these? And I was like, yeah, like I want them. Like I love notebooks. Yes, I want them. And so for 4 of these like pretty cheap notebooks, I took some money from my room, $40 to be exact. I took $40. I brought it to school and during lunch I gave him $40 and he gave me 4 paper notebooks, and I thought that was the end of that. I thought, wow, like what a steal, you know, I have notebooks now. And I think it was either that day or the next day. I come home and my dad is like, I have a math question for you, and I was like, okay. And so what he said, he was like, so if a girl has $40 and she spends it all on notebooks, how many notebooks did she buy? And my heart stopped. They caught me. And long story short, we all got in trouble for it because, first of all, selling things on school property is duh. And I can't believe I was finessed $40, but in the end we got it back. Like, we exchanged again and everything was sorted out. But yeah, that was wild. This is my pet peeve. Loud eaters. If you are one of those people who's like, or like slurping, like, oh my god, it bothers me so much. And my mom, I don't even know if she's joking about this, but she was like, you need to go on Dr. Phil, because that's a problem. She was like, normal people aren't grossed out by that, but I am. Like, if someone is beside me and all I hear is, I'm like, please stop, please go away, eat somewhere else. I don't want to be near that. My guilty pleasure is Pretty Little Liars. It's so dramatic that it just makes me forget about all my problems, and I'm like, ooh, like, she's locked in a box, oh my god, someone save her before she dies. And then I'm not worrying about that cute guy at work who doesn't talk to me, or like, you know. As a kid, my sister used to make fun of me by saying I had a man voice. Looking back now, it's pretty funny, but back then, I would cry about it. An example of this, one time my mom, she was making a home video, so she's filming. She's like, Arifa, where's grandma and grandpa, right? And I was like, Guyana. And she was like, oh, where's she said my cousin's name. She was like, where's her? And I was like, Toronto. When I was in grade 7, me and some of my friends, after school had ended and before we got on our school bus home, like on the yellow bus home, we decided that we should do the cinnamon challenge. Because that was when it was like popping and like everyone was doing it, and like Glozell was doing it. If you have not seen hers, it's so funny. But anyways, so we did that after school on school property, and this one teacher saw us, and I think he thought that we were like doing drugs or something, I don't know. But either way, it's obviously not a good thing to be doing at all, let alone on school property. And so we got called to the principal's office, and he gave us this huge lecture about how dangerous it was, and like people have died from it. But aside from these, like, I've never been in detention, I've never been expelled or suspended. Like, I'm a good student, okay? Other than these instances. I don't eat a lot of meat by choice, and not because, like, obviously I'm like, oh, animals dying, like, it sucks and like all that stuff, but that's not even the, like, that's not really why I originally stopped eating a lot of meat. It was just because I didn't like the way that it tasted. Like, I'll choose something else over meat pretty much all the time. Unless it's like chicken nuggets or something, because I don't even know if that classifies as meat though. Like, it's like pink sludge that comes, I don't know what this was. It's pink sludge that comes out of a machine. It's not really meat, but I love like cartoon shows like Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, American Dad. What's the other show? Oh, Big Mouth. Oh my god, those are my favorite shows. Speaking of Bob's Burgers, the character I identify most with in Bob's Burgers is definitely Tina. How she has crushes on everyone that she meets. Like, instantly she's like, I'm gonna marry him. And like, just her awkwardness I definitely relate to. I have more than a few stories of times that I've been awkward just because someone attractive is around. I can make a whole video about that. I could make a movie about all the times that I've been clumsy and awkward. Like, there was a time in my life where I genuinely thought that I could marry Bruno Mars. And if you know me, you know this, and that's how sad this is. Like, I was obsessed with him. Let me go on my Facebook, because one of my cover photos when I first got Facebook, it was this text post from Tumblr. Let's talk about Tumblr for a second, jeez. It was basically like, after you wake up from a coma, and then it says like, Bruno Mars, you were in a coma, I'm your husband, me, okay. And then the other one, okay, this one I can probably show you guys. It's just like a collage of him. And yeah, those are two of my cover photos that involve Bruno Mars. Oh god, and do you wanna know what my next cover photo was? Callum Hood from 5 Seconds of Summer, who I also legitimately thought I was gonna marry. Like, I've grown out of that phase, like 100%. But if any of you guys personally know him, can you like tell him to watch this video and, you know, have his people call my people? I mean, my people consists of my parents, but like his manager or whatever, they can call me. We could be great together, but that's all I'm saying. This cover photo, my friend made it for me. We had both taken this class where you learn about Photoshop, but yeah, so she made this photo for me. And if you guys know Michael Clifford, who's in the band, she was obsessed with him and I was obsessed with Callum, and so like we used to back and forth make photos like this for each other and just send it to each other. It's actually really creepy if you think about it, but I know how to play the saxophone and the recorder, so have you guys ever seen that video of that guy? He's playing My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, but he's playing it on the recorder. Why did I do this? That's a flute. He's playing it on the recorder. He's on like a beach and like the wind's blowing and it's so funny. But every time I think of the recorder and me playing it, I'm like, why didn't I learn how to play that song? Like, I could have recreated the best video on the internet. Missed opportunities, man. Alright, so that is it. Those are all the interesting, semi-interesting facts about myself that I could remember. I hope some of them are interesting. If you have any similar ones, please leave them in the comments. I want to know your stories. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!